focus. What's going on, guys? Good morning, good afternoon. It's been a little while once again, but welcome back to the Arboreal Obscurities channel. Today we have kind of a cool vlog for you. Not just a normal daily vlog, we're not cleaning cages, and we are not doing a podcast. To quick hit on the podcast though, for those of you guys who do not tune in every Sunday to the Preaching Pythons podcast on this channel, please make sure that you do so. We would greatly appreciate it. It's a place that my buddy TJ and I just sit down for an hour or so and we talk about pythons and other snakes that we keep and work with or that interest us, news in the hobby, all kinds of fun stuff. Without further ado, today's video, we are talking about a snake that's very special to me. We are talking about carpet pythons, or the Morelia spilota complex. We're going to talk about a few different subspecies, a couple just different morphs that you're going to commonly kind of see in them or that are a little bit more popular, a few differences between those morphs, and then it's just about it. We're not going to talk about husbandry or humidity or enclosure sizes and stuff like that. I'll save that for another video. Today I'm just going to introduce you to a few snakes in my collection. We're going to kick today's episode off with probably the most iconically popular and commonly found carpet python probably in the hobby, and that's this right here. This is a jungle carpet python, or Morelia spilota chenii. They're not always going to be found this bright black and yellow. She is not even like a crazy black on yellow, just a more average one to show you guys, but you can find them in the hobby super jet black, super bright highlighter yellow. In the wild they're going to often be more like browns and dingy, like tans and stuff. Still beautiful, awesome snakes. Probably one of the larger carpet pythons as well. These guys can definitely hit 6-7 feet no problem. And most of your carpet pythons are going to range between like 4.5 to about 10 feet in length. Your biggest ones are going to be your coastals, or your what are not even technically carpet pythons, but your Morelia breadlie. They are going to be some of your larger Morelia. And this girl is a sweetheart. Let me try to give you guys a better look at the jungle. Now, jungle is iconically known for the head markings, the back pattern, the colors on them. Every carpet python has a little bit different genetic structure to them, a little bit different patterning. They're all going to come from different ranges as well for the most part, so a lot of your subspecies are also localities. Carpet pythons range across Australia and also into West Papua or Papua New Guinea, the islands of Papua, which is also where you're going to find pretty much all of your green tree pythons. So one of these species that I'm going to show you probably after the jungles is going to be what most people know as Irian-Jayas, or what should probably be referred to now as Papuan carpet pythons. They are the smallest, if not one of the smallest species next to Darwin's, and we'll get into those as well. That's another one that I'm going to show you guys. So just to start things off, give you a quick look. This is Khalifa. She's a female jungle carpet python. I have one that I'm going to save for the end of this video, so I might actually end with Papuans just because I have one little Exantic that has a bit of an attitude on him. He's right in the middle of breeding, so I think that's actually what it is, because he's normally pretty sweet, but he's probably going to bite me a whole bunch, and I don't want to track blood onto the other snakes, so I'll probably hold him last just in case he decides to bite me a whole bunch. But she is actually also usually one of my more fussy carpet pythons. She's gotten a lot better. This is a snake that does really well with just being handled a lot. They get really socialized. I mean, this girl still just really strong feed responses on them. So if I open the cage for this animal, usually she'll come flying out of it mouth open. As soon as I touch her with a hook, which I recommend most of your snakes with a strong feed response, kind of touch them with a hook or something first just to turn that response off. But as soon as I touch her with a hook or something, start getting hands on her, she's perfectly fine. Absolute sweetheart. Carpet pythons are a great choice. So this is the first jungle that I'm going to show you. This is a kind of normal standard jungle carpet python, and then the next one is a incomplete dominant morph of a carpet python that is referred to as zebra. So let me put her away. I'll grab that zebra and I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging in so far. Alright, you guys. So the next one we're going to talk about is this little guy right here. Now this is also a jungle carpet python, or Morelia spilota chenii. This is what you would refer to as a zebra morph. Now, like I had said before, zebra is a co-dominant or incomplete dominant gene in carpet pythons. And so what that means is that it carries over dominantly, but it does not have a guaranteed chance of carrying over. So whereas dominant is going to have a 100% chance of reproducing offspring, carrying the same traits, an incomplete dominant has about a 50% chance. So this little guy right here, which he will at some point breed with Khalifa, who you just saw, but this little guy will have a 50% chance of producing more offspring that look like him, and 50% chance of producing more offspring that look like Khalifa. So now that we have talked about how this gene is incomplete, let's take a better look at it. So you saw before on the jungle the way that the barring was pretty full all the way through and all the way down. The head stamps were pretty clean and well marked. Now if you take a look at the zebra, you're going to see a whole bunch more breaking, not only throughout that back pattern, but throughout the sides as well. And then if you take a look at the head on them, it's going to be quite a bit busier than that other jungle as well. So one thing about carpet pythons is they're not really a moody animal. They do eat well, so if you put your hands in there, oftentimes they may take a shot thinking that it's food. They can be touchy. This little guy is still a bit touchy, so you'll notice like when I touch him in certain areas, he kind of tenses his body up and loops. He's not necessarily happy about it, but he's not trying to bite me from it. He's just like being a little bit extra squirrely, definitely being aware. Now some carpets will stack you up and try to bite you. To be honest, if you handle them a little bit, maybe take a couple bites when they're small, they'll usually tame right out of it. There are certain circumstances like the Exantic that you'll see at the end of this where sometimes they just get in a mood and it has nothing to do with being handled or touched. They just don't want to be bothered, or they're just a lot more willing to take a pop at you. But just to show you guys, this is a zebra. The Exantic that I'm talking about is also a zebra as well. So we're taking a look at one now. We'll take a look at another one that looks quite a bit different at the end of this video. So without dragging things on too long, this is a little zebra carpet python. So we can get that to focus a little bit. He's not super happy, so we'll put him away and we'll move on to the next one. Be right back. Okay, so next little carpet we're going to take a look at is the next subspecies of carpet python. This is a Darwin carpet python, or Morelia spilota variegata. They get the name variegata because there was a time during transporting these guys out of Australia, coming out of the Darwin International Airport, where they were a bit more variable. They were coming from a few different ranges and weren't all exactly this. Now there are pure Darwins. They're very similar actually to Papuans, but there are pure Darwins. This is a pure Darwin albino, and the Darwin gene pool is where albinism was actually first discovered in carpet pythons, and the Papuans is actually where the Exantic was first discovered. So right now we're going to take a look at what the first albinos looked like, then we'll take a look at the first Exantics. And what's neat is I have a larger male of each, and then I have some juveniles of each, so you'll kind of see the difference between color. Although my Exantic male is not a true Exantic yet, he still has a little bit of change to go, a little bit of lightening, but you will get to see the differences between the two. To show you the albino, let's see if we can't get some focus in here. Try to give you guys a better look at that. The albinos are really pretty when they're little because they're almost like a bright starbursty orange or like a sherbet orange or yellow. This girl's name is Sunday, and I actually named her Sunday because she was just so bright when she was little that, like, for some reason it reminded me of like a sunny Sunday morning or something. So this is Sunday. She is a little female albino carpet python. She wants to go the opposite way of the camera, so I'm trying to get her to turn around for you guys. But like I said, once again, like, really good little animals. They're not really too head shy. Like, once they've been handled enough, they're really, really great. Personally, they make a better animal to me at least, than so many other pythons, so many blood pythons, ball pythons, a lot of boas even. Really, really great snakes. They eat really well for you. They don't require too much. They have great little attitudes, temperaments on them. So this is an albino. Albinism is a recessive gene in carpet pythons, and I believe it is in everything, but albinism is recessive. So it carries homozygous or heterozygous traits for it. So a little bit different than the dominance in the gene pools, but she is clearly a visual albino. So she carries homozygous traits for it. And her offspring, if they're not visual albinos, will carry heterozygous, 100% heterozygous chances of carrying offspring. So this little girl is actually going to be planned for like some snow projects down the road, for producing some babies that are both 100% heterozygous for albinism and Exantic, which is where you create your snow stuff. Also, the male albino that you're going to see, visual to visual is going to create 100% visual albinos. So those are going to be some really cool projects. This is a beautiful snake to me. I'm not a big fan of actually albino in a lot of animals, especially reptiles, but carpet pythons are one that they just kind of captivate me. And the biggest part about it is hopefully the camera picks up the hidden colors on my male, but the color on them is just insane, and the eyes on them are just not like that of any normal albinos. They almost have like a crystal look to them. So let me put Sunday away, and I will grab Zeus, the larger male, and show you guys kind of the difference between a smaller juvenile and a larger adult. Be right back. Okay guys, so this is a much larger albino carpet python. This is Zeus. Now Zeus is about halfway to being a full-grown male. He'll get a little bit larger than this. I mean, he's definitely a good size. Throughout the rest of his life, he will reach a larger size, but he's definitely a good size, definitely breeding ready. I'm going to try to give you guys a better look at the eyes on these snakes. Focus. Oh, come on. Come here. And I'm not restraining this little guy at all. He's super mellow. I'm just kind of like stopping him from backing up a little bit. Really, really beautiful snakes. Let's see if the camera will pick up kind of those hidden yellows in there. But what you can't really see is in between all of these more orange kind of stripes, there's a highlighter yellow, and it's crazy that the camera doesn't pick it up, but it is neon highlighter yellow. It's insane. It doesn't look real. It looks like you painted it on with a Sharpie. You can kind of faintly see it in his neck because he has it all the way down his neck, and there's no other pattern to really pair it up to. Beautiful snakes, really amazing, really amazing albinos. Really awesome little temperaments to them. Like I've said with all these guys, great eater, social snake. Put these guys up over your neck, no problem. I wouldn't recommend that with like all of them. Definitely learn kind of the attitude of the one that you are hanging out with before you do, just because like these guys can be a little bit fussier. But I mean, carpet pythons are really awesome animals. This guy will hopefully sire with the female that you just saw at some point, and do some visual albinos that'll come out looking just like this. He is a pure Darwin as well, Somalia spilota variegata. And these guys come from Darwin, Australia. I don't think I need to really explain that one. So anyways, this is Zeus. This is what an albino carpet python looks like. Really beautiful animals. And I mean, you guys have seen that not one of these snakes has tried to take a shot at me while I'm moving around them or anything. None of them have tried to eat my arms while I'm holding on to him. One of them will, but that's just because he's just in a weird mood lately. But that's not normal of carpet pythons. They're really awesome snakes. Definitely one of my favorite animals. So let me put him away, and then we'll move into the Papuan stuff. That way we can wrap this video up. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully this is actually a fun one for you guys, because I don't do too many where I really talk about my animals, but I hope you guys are enjoying this, because there's a lot of projects with these carpet pythons, keeping a lot of them. I love them a lot, and I'm happy to share them with you guys. And I'd like to post more of this stuff, so hopefully you enjoyed this one and want to see more of it. But let me put him away. I'll see you back in a second. So next is actually my favorite carpet python in my entire collection. One of my favorite snakes that I have, period, and a snake that personally I would have loved to save for last in this video, but like I said, because of that little Exantic, we're just gonna bring him out last. It's also why I'm showing her before the other Exantic as well. That way we can just piggyback off the smaller and the larger one. But this is Nova. Nova is a granite carpet python. And the granite is also a recessive in carpets. So she is a homozygous or visual version, and her offspring will carry heterozygous. So an interesting thing with her, as you can see, as my hand goes over her or waves in front of her face, she has no interest, she has no notice. Earlier on, when granites were being worked with and produced, and carpet pythons more so in general, you had a lot of inbreeding. Not that inbreeding affects reptiles, because it really does not, and a lot of the awesome stuff that you like out there happens from integrating same bloodlines and lineage into creating more traits. I mean, it happens with dogs, fish, birds, just about everything. So when carpet pythons were being inbred more often, and a big part of that was just due to there was no export out of Australia, so there was no way to import fresh blood. So you had a lot of Papuans, which is what she is, carrying that granite morph and being inbred. And one thing that did happen when things were being more inbred, and it's corrected itself quite a bit now, was you were having snakes that were being born with, that were being born with no eyes or completely blind. And Nova, believe it or not, although she is not hindered in any way, is completely blind. So she's actually in shed right now, and normally I wouldn't pull my snakes out in shed, and usually it's just because the higher stress, because they can't see as well, things like that, they don't want to be touched as much. But she makes no difference when she's in shed, because she doesn't normally see anyways. But this is absolutely my favorite snake out of all my carpet pythons. One, just because she has a beautiful displacement. The other reason being that she is the oldest carpet python out of all the ones that I have. She is pushing 4 years now. I have had her for about 2.5. And this morph alone, I think, is incredible. Let me give you a better look at it. But up close, it's like crazy cryptic. It almost looks like tiny, like rice grain or something that's multicolored. From afar away, to me at least, if I were you guys, seeing the camera from the angle that it's at, from this distance, I think it literally looks like it is leopard or like jaguar printed. I think it's gorgeous, really, really cool. And she is actually paired with the last guy that you're gonna see, who is an Exantic zebra. So there is a possibility to produce zebras that will look like the first Jaeger, the jungle zebra that you saw in the beginning, and then they will also carry 100% double heterozygous traits for granite and Exantic. So granite Exantics are absolutely insane, because then you take this snake and you basically make a black and white newspaper version of it. And it's like black, white, and gray. And then if you have the zebra in that as well, it plays with the pattern even more, and they're really, really beautiful. So very excited for her to have some offspring. She is ovulating and starting to build follicles actually now, so I shouldn't be messing with her all that much, but I really wanted to put a video together for you guys, and there's absolutely no way I'm making a carpet python video without my favorite carpet python. So without stressing her out too much, I'm gonna put her back with her boyfriend, because I'm gonna pull him out in just a moment. I'll give you one more look at her. She really is an awesome snake. Good animals, very good animals. If you guys have been debating on bringing home a carpet python, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. They're so amazing. Let me put her away. I'm going to grab a little Exantic and we'll move into some of that stuff. I'll touch on it on the next one. I'll be right back. Alright, I was going to put Nova away, but she's being pretty good and she wants to hang out, so I'm going to leave her out for a minute since the other guy's coming out just after this. And this is a little Exantic carpet python. Now, like I had kind of said, the Exantic is kind of makes like a black and gray version of the snake. So to compare it with albino, albinism tends to pull out all the black and dark coloration from an animal. Exantic tends to pull out all of the yellows and reds out of an animal. Now there's still going to be faint traces of your yellows and stuff. It's more of like a, let's see. Sorry, I can't get this to focus better for you guys. But it's going to be kind of these light tan yellow kind of color to it. In the sunlight, they absolutely look silver, black, and blue. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to fix my focus on this one. In the light, they're like a silver, black, and blue. They're really, really cool looking. And this little guy's name is Hades. He will eventually be paired with that little albino as well for double het for snow, so Exantic and albino. A little female is very interested in this tiny little boy. And he is actually an offspring from the next Exantic that I'm going to show you, who is actually breeding her. So, really only pulled this little guy out so you can see what a small juvenile Exantic looks like. They're going to be a lot more brown when they're younger. And the reason that a lot of carpet pythons are going to be a lot dingier or muddier or uglier when they're babies is they go through the same thing that kind of a green tree python goes through. It is called an ontogenic change. And what that means is that they have a lightening or a color phase or a color restabilization that happens genetically at a point in their life or throughout a period of their life. With green tree pythons, it kind of happens anywhere from 6-8 months into their life to 5 years into their life, depending on the locality there. And on carpet pythons, usually your ontogenic change occurs and has a lightning phase. Hopefully that doesn't last. And has a lightning phase right about a year into their life. So really, really cool. This little guy will lighten up quite a bit, look quite different. But I am going to, I'll probably leave Nova out because her boyfriend's coming out. Let me put him away and let me show you. I might put her away just because I might need both hands, but we'll see. I'm going to show you the last one and the zebra Exantic. So bear with me, I'll be right back. I can't film like this, dude. This is what it's like. This is the hardest part. Okay guys, so before I start getting juiced by this little male, oh, it's coming. Go ahead and take a look at him. I'm really hoping I just don't take bites on the hand or the wrist from him. But to point out, you can see up here the zebra that is happening on this guy, just like on the other one. And you can really see that kind of silver color on this guy. I'm just trying to stay out of the shot so you can see him better. So he is a 2-gene carpet python. He is zebra and he's Exantic. So he is a incomplete dominant and a recessive. So like I said with the female, he'll hopefully make some really cool stuff with her. Try to give you a better look at him. Please don't bite my wrist. I'm actually very surprised I'm not getting lit up right now. I tried to shoot this video for you guys yesterday and he just absolutely was not having it. Made things really difficult. But this is Titan. He's an Exantic zebra. These two right here are a pair. They have been locked up and copulating, so they're totally good with each other. Like I said, he's been on the cranky bend just because I think he's in that breeding mode. He doesn't want to be taken out from his girlfriend. He doesn't want her taken out. They just want to be left alone. So I'm not going to bother them too much. We're going to end the video here. Thank you guys for sitting down with me for however long this took and learning a little bit about some of the snakes that I really care about. Carpet pythons are really awesome. I think I actually, you know what, did not go over a few little things on the Papuans. These are all Papuans you just looked at, both Exantics and the Granite. Papuans are your Irian Jayas. They're going to come from Australia and Papua. And they are Morelia spilota harrisoni. This is where the Granite and the Exantic originated. They are a smaller species or subspecies of carpet python. All your carpet pythons, though, I don't care what anybody says about certain species being tamer than others. They're all very, very awesome so long as you work with them and you put the time in. So thank you guys for sitting down and learning about carpet pythons with me for a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'll try to do more like this, but these ones are a little bit tough just because they do require a little bit more, and I have to really think about trying to give you guys some information that you can actually take from this by the time that it's over. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in to another episode and checking out the channel. As always, I love you guys and I couldn't and wouldn't do this without you. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. Hit the like if you liked this video, or leave a comment if you have a question. I know I leave a lot of stuff out of these, so follow me on Instagram if you'd like. I can chat with you there at any time. That's probably where I spend most of my social media time. I chat with a lot of people over on that page, and that's Arboreal.Obscurities. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thumbs up or thumbs down the video. If you didn't like it, just let me know what you didn't like about it. That way I can maybe change it for somebody else. And hit the notification bell. That way you know every time we upload a video, whether it be a daily vlog or a Preaching Pythons podcast or anything like that. With that being said, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I will catch you on the next one. Peace. Peace.
That feels good!